Hello, a very good morning to you on the 10th of December. It's a Wednesday. I'm just reminding myself because I'm starting to lose track of the days already. 'Tis the season, I suppose, isn't it? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some lovely necklaces. I've named them Carol because I think they can be quite festive and they're very twinkly. I've got some lovely pearl drops, some chain. I'm using some very sparkly crystals. We've got 4 colours for you to choose from. So we've got 3 in the gold and 3 in the silver. If I hold this one up to the camera, I'll just pull that chain up so you can see. You'll see them better when I take you over to the website. So you've got that lovely shimmer, that lovely movement, giving almost a tassel-like effect. They're very, very pretty. So I'm going to be making those with you today. In terms of your tools, you can use your looper tool if you have one, some round nose pliers, wire cutters, and 2 pairs of chain nose pliers to open and close the loops so we can attach them onto the chain. Really nice, simple make. So good morning to everybody and thank you for being with me. Jan says good morning to everybody. She's in a sunny Sudbury. The sun has just come out. I've just been trying to move my screen across so it's not too shadowy. Good morning to Fairness Born in a bright and breezy Barrow. It has been very windy. I know some people have had a little bit of a storm, windy and rainy. Good morning to Mina. Good morning to Camille. Ooh, Camille's got a cold and frosty morning. It's a bit chilly, but weather-wise, we're all right. So if I take you down on the map very quickly, you'll see these are the necklaces that I'm making. They do look beautifully perfect when worn. They'll all hang really nicely, and you can see I've got some lovely colours. Today I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and I'm going to mix the colours up because I really love the colour of these drops and think they'd look lovely against this one. So I'm going to do a gold colourway version and I'm going to mix these up, but I will take you over to the website now and you'll be able to see the colours that you can get if you want to head over to totallybeads.co.uk. So if we go over to the website, which is just here, there you go, you'll be able to see 1, 2, 3, there you go, our video tutorial section. So in our video tutorial section, you'll find lots of makes made by myself and Kitty and Laura. And these are what we've been making recently. Today is the Carol Pearl Drop necklace. We did the bow on Monday. Today we've got the kind of tassel-y effect. Really straightforward make to do. So these have already been for you. They were £7.99. They're just £6.99 today. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me click in. Yeah, you're making 2 necklaces today. So for £6.99 for 2 necklaces is a really great price. Your kits are going to come with everything you need to make these 2 necklaces. So we're going to have those glass pearl drop beads, our crystal rondelle beads, all of the chain, the jump rings, the lobster clasp. I'm using Eyepins and Headpins, and I will show you the difference for them. So we're going to be making those lovely gold. Look at the colour of those crystals. Absolutely delightful. So in your colourway, this one is going to be on your gold chain. You're going to get your gold eye pins and your gold plated head pins as well. So all the measurements are there for you. Of course, you're going to get gold chain, gold lobster clasp and gold coloured jump rings. So all of those findings will be matching in the same metal. I'm using the pink champagne AB crystal rondelles. They're 3x4, and I'm using the glass pearl drop beads, which are 4x8. So they're delicate. They're not too big, not too chunky, just very, very pretty. And it will look like this when you assemble it. Of course, you can assemble it any way you want to. And I think if you wanted to, you could definitely add more fringe effect to this or less. And I think they would make beautiful earrings as well. So if you've got a gold coloured pair of ear wires, you could pop on some of these little dangles and you could make a gorgeous pair of matching earrings. So this is the golden colourway. That's Carol Pearl Drop Necklace, just £6.99. We've also got a pink, which is very pretty. I've put this on the gold as well. If you wanted to multi-buy, of course, if you wanted to get a silver colourway and a pink colourway, you could always swap them round if you'd prefer this on the silver. But here you're getting the gold plated chain, so it's got all your measurements and dimensions there of the oval twist chain. I'm using the crystal pink rondelles, again still 3x4, and the light pink glass pearl drops, which are 4x8. So that's how the pink one looks. So there are gold colourways. We've also got two on the silver as well. So I've got beautiful silver grey, which looks like this, all beautifully spaced. Now I'm using silver rose cloud for these crystals, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So there is like a very subtle kind of pink tone to those. I'm just looking at them close up. I'll show you them down on the mat so you can see. But there is like a soft pink haze to those as well. And then we've got the silver grey glass pearl drops. This is on the silver chain with all your silver findings, and that's how that one looks. Still making two necklaces just for £6.99. And lastly, but by no means least, we've got the gorgeous turquoise. So today I'm going to be using these turquoise 4x8 glass pearl drops, but I'm going to be using the kind of peachy champagne rondelles with this one. But in this kit you're going to get the teal, so the teal and the turquoise, teal AB, will look absolutely beautiful. They've got a gorgeous turquoise to them, but they do have that AB aurora borealis coating, which means you've got little flashes of gold and purples and all sorts of things on there. So that is everything that you need to make along with me today over on totalybeads.co.uk. This is the Carol Pearl Drop necklace, and you can get it in golden, pink, silver grey or turquoise. So I hope there's a colourway there that interests you. I'll take you down on the mat now and I will show you these gorgeous crystals. Hello to everybody who's just joined us. I've got loads of you in, which is really, really nice. And good morning to Mina. Good morning to Joanne. Hello to Sally. How are you doing? She's in a chilly Barnsley. She's been away. Oh, I'm so sorry. She's lost her doggy. Oh, my dear. I'm so sorry for your loss. I hope you're all right. We've missed you. Hello to Zakia. How are you doing? She says, how are you doing, my darling? I am doing, thank you, well. Just plodding on, plodding on. Good morning to Sheila. She's got heavy rain in Washington, Tyne and Weir. Good morning to Kath. Yolanda's in as well in Michigan. Oh, she says the snow is deep and no school. A shame. And Zakia says, absolutely lovely necklace. Thank you very much. Izzy's in as well saying they look lovely. So let me show you them up close and personal. I just want to show you the crystals. So gorgeous, gorgeous pink colourway there for you. Morning, Julie. These are the silver, but I don't think it's going to pick it up. So you can see they're coated with the silver, like they're called half because half of them's coated in like a full finish, and then on the other side every now and again there's little glimmers of like the softest pink, not really showing as well as it should be in the light here. So full silver. Sorry, I should put some hand lotion on this morning. My hands are looking dry. All the washing up and doing and cleaning. Can you see there's a little kind of hint? And that's going on those beautiful silver tassels too. These are the colours I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and I'm going to mix today, because one thing I've loved this year has been mixing my kind of peach tones with my kind of sea glassy teal colours. Just think they'll look lovely together. So obviously when they're laying flat on the mat, they just don't hang quite as intended as when they are worn around the neck. So you can see we've got these gorgeous teal crystals and these turquoise drops, and then I just adore the colour of these. It's not doing it justice. Thanks, Yolanda. She says, I love your nails. I've gone for a Sagittarius theme. 'Tis the season and all that. So these are the necklaces that I'm going to be doing for you right now. Away we go. Really straightforward. So I'm going to take my chain, which is going to be in my kit. You're going to get enough for 2 necklaces, so you can do whatever you wish with this. I've cut it to a length of 50 centimetres, but you can amend that to your preference. Obviously, we're going to be using jump rings and lobster clasps. So I'm going to get my 6x1 jump rings out. That's the outer diameter. Let me just pop all this down on the mat. And I'm going to be using a 12mm lobster clasp. What that means, when you use a clasp like this, you can make an extender chain. So if you've got extra jump rings, you can increase the length of your chain, no problem. Obviously, if you want it shorter, then you can just decrease the links on the chain. These aren't soldered fully, so you can open those up just with a bit of pliers, just like you would do with a jump ring, and you can decrease the length quite easily. These lobster clasps are big enough to hook directly through the chain. Sorry, I'm not even in shot, am I? Should I just move that up ever so slightly? So what that means is if you wanted to, you can attach your jump ring, but if you think I need it more centered, then you can move that along. What I would bear in mind though is as we're making this necklace, we are going to be working from the center point outwards. So if you start to decrease one size, obviously your drops are going to move as well. So try and get the idea of what size you want. I would say with an extender chain, that's not going to be an issue because you can just increase it a little bit. And then as you position it around your neck, you can just position that centrally. So if you want to start your chain to begin with, I'm just going to take my 2 jump rings and I'm going to open one up by giving it a little turn towards me, just a little bit. Don't need to open it too much, just enough to get that last link of that chain in, and then add on my lobster clasp through there too. They're all intended to be used together, so they all fit and work perfectly. Sometimes you can have the little loop on a lobster clasp, which is a little bit smaller, or the jump ring can be a bit thicker and you have to kind of force it in. These will just fit perfectly. I tend to close my jump ring first, just to make sure it's nice and aligned and those 2 pieces of it sit flush. Open it up and slide it into the other end of the chain, which again I'm using the last link on that. So I've cut 50 centimetres of my chain, but you're going to get at least 100 centimetres in your kit because we're making 2 necklaces. So that's what, about 40 inches of chain in total, there or thereabouts. So there you go, chain's ready to go. All I need to do, really straightforward, is just assemble my little pins, work from the centre and place them on. Now when I place my pins on and my dangles, I'm going to start from the centre one, so I've got my centre point, and then I'm going to miss a link and then pop another one on, miss a link, pop another one on. So I'm going to be alternating all the way round, and I've decided to do 19 pins on mine. With it being an odd number, it means I will have a centre point, and as the necklace is worn around the neckline, it's going to give it that fringe graduated effect. So I'm not making some of the pins longer and some of them smaller. I'm just placing them all on at the same length and they will naturally give that graduated effect. Thank you so much, Joanne. She says this is a gorgeous design. It's always really straightforward to do something like this, and you can use various different tools to turn your pins. So if you have issues with your hands, if you've got arthritis, or if you just feel like, they're getting a bit tired, I do recommend a looper tool. A looper tool is brilliant. You pop your pin in through the back, comes out the other side once you've got your bead on, and as you squeeze the handle together, it's going to cut off the pin and turn the loop for you. Now on your handle of the looper tool, it often says what size loop that you're going to make. I do prefer personally a good old pair of round nose pliers. You can see I've lost a spring on this and all sorts, but it does the job for me, and I think I can always turn that loop just a little bit more perfectly. So in order to make my charms, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my head pin, and I'm going to take my eye pin. Now the difference between these, aside from the length, is you've got a nail tip finish on the end of your head pin. When I pop what I'm going to pop on my bead, I'm going to do my, let me open my beads up. I'm going to do my drops onto these ones, and I'm going to slide that on. And what you'll find is that sits beautifully and flush at the bottom end of my bead. If you want to, you could always turn your beads the other way and you could have them pointing downwards. I like the rounded kind of wider part of this drop to be at the bottom for this design, but that's just preference. So I'm going to use the drops on the head pins, so you can see that's just sitting nice and flush close up to that bead. The eye pin has got a little loop on it, and what this means is when I add what I'm going to do in terms of my beads, my crystals, that's going to give it a nice opportunity for me to be able to connect that directly to the chain using that link. I don't need to add in any extra jump rings, but I can turn my loop either with my looper tool or with my round nose pliers, and that's going to give me a double-ended connector, so I can connect from this point and this point. So all I'm going to do is add on 2 of my gorgeous shimmery shiny crystals. So as I say, I'm going to be kind of not cheating but mixing up my kits today because I just think they're going to look delightful together. So I've popped my beads on. That loop is going to stop them falling off. I might move this just to give myself a little bit of focus on the camera. I'm going to take a pair of pliers. So I'm going to take some chain nose pliers. As long as they're flat in the middle, you can get some which have got grooves and jaggedy edges on, and they're good when you're doing kind of household tool jobs. Jewelry pliers need to be smooth. They're going to give the grip that I need, but they're not going to mar any of my pins or my wire. So what I want to do is I want to turn a loop, and I want my loop to sit in the same direction. So can you see here my loop on the other end is facing upwards rather than it that way. It's going to go that way. And I'm going to bend my pin right up close to those gorgeous crystals at roughly a 90-degree angle. It doesn't have to be too precise, but by putting that bend in, when I turn and roll that pin over, it's going to sit nice and direct on top, so they're going to be nice and even. I don't need a massive loop, I only need a small loop, preferably one which is similar size to the existing one. So I'm going to come in with my cutters and I'm going to leave about 1 centimetre. So where that last bead is, where that bend is, I'm going to cut, leaving about 1 centimetre and keeping hold of the bit of the pin that I'm cutting off so it doesn't fire away, because I'm not wearing safety goggles. You absolutely can if you want to. I just hold on to my pin and hope for the best. I'm going to pop my pin into the round nose pliers, and you'll see I'm rubbing my finger on the back of that. I want it nice and flush. I only want a small loop, so I'm moving away from my hand and the handle. It's tapered end, so it's getting smaller as we go. I want that nice and flush, because if I've got a bit of pin sticking out there, that's not going to turn. So find a small point on my pliers. The jaws are now above and below. I'm going to support the beads with my thumb and my finger. Give it a little flick up, reposition my hand so my knuckles are now away from me, and little rotations all the way round, which should give me that perfect loop. It's a little bit bigger than the other side, but it doesn't matter. And we just want to make sure that loop is fully closed. Now I can connect that directly now onto my chain, but I want my drop at the bottom to dangle off. So I'm going to come in again with my pliers. I'm going to bend. It doesn't matter which direction I bend this pin, because there's no loop on the bottom to kind of match. So I'm just going to give it a little bend close up to the bead as we can. Again, I've got a very long lengthy pin here. I don't need all that. I only still need about 1 centimetre. So from where that bend is to where I'm cutting, little snip off, taking the round nose pliers, and I'm going to do exactly the same, keeping it flush, support the bead in my hand, flick up and little rotations all the way around. I'm not putting too much stress on my wrist. and I'm just turning until we've got a loop that sits central on the top. Now I will show you a way that if you don't do it quite right, how you can amend that. It takes more concentration for me sometimes to get it wrong. So we'll see. I bend my pin first because I want to make sure that the loop is sitting directly on the top. However, if I didn't, let's see, if I was to, I can't even, I just can't do it. If I didn't bend it, or if I did and it didn't sit right on top, I'll show you how you can adjust it. So if I was to turn my pin, there we go, that's over rotated. And you can see now it's sitting like this. Can you see the difference? So it's sitting more like a P shape than directly on top of the loop if I just pop them flat, so you can see the difference. Straighten that, so it's sitting more flat. So can you see the difference between those? I've got one which isn't sitting fully on the top, it's to the side. If that happens, it's not a problem. I'm going to pop my round nose pliers back in, and I'm going to push back on the bead and just manipulate that pin so it's that loop is now sitting flush at the top. If I make a mistake, I'll make a mistake. When I'm trying to do it wrong, I can't. But you'll see me do it wrong lots of times. So now I've got my beads. I'm going to take another one of my little loop pins. So my eye pin, I'm going to put another 2 crystals on. Now you're getting loads of crystals in your kit. You could, if you wanted to, because I'm making 2 necklaces, there's going to be enough to make a necklace with 19 pins with 2 crystals on each. But if you just wanted to make the 1 necklace, you could add 3 crystals onto that instead if you wanted to, or you could just add less loops. I just want to show you how beautiful the shimmer is on these crystals. So they're faceted, you can really see them catching the light there. Absolutely gorgeous, lots of twinkling, beautiful colours. They're just gorgeous, so that's why I've had to use them. So again, 2 crystals on, I'm getting my loop in the direction that I want it to be. And if that loop isn't fully sitting straight, I'll show you how to change that as well. So bending it to almost 90 degrees, that's probably more like an 85, but it's okay. Cutting off, so I'm leaving about 1 centimetre left to turn my loop. Round nose pliers in, or my looper tool, whichever you prefer. Support the beads, thumb and finger, flick it up and rotate all the way round until it sits at the top. And we want that loop to be almost perfectly closed. Now, if you find that one of your loops is sitting that way and one of your loops is sitting that way, or they're not fully straight, it's not the end of the world. You take your pliers onto both loops and you just twist until they're running kind of parallel and straight. And all we need to do now is just attach them together. So I'm going to take my pliers, and whichever loop I want, I'm going to probably just use the loop off the crystal. I'm going to give it a little flick up, just a tiny bit, like I'm opening a jump ring. I'm not opening it out to distort that lovely loop shape. I'm just giving it a little flick up, taking the drop, sliding that on, and then again with the pliers, coming into close. And I want to make sure that they are fully closed so they don't fall off of each other. If you want to, you can open the loop on this. It works just the same. I'm going to give it a little flick up. I'm going to take my link and I'm going to close it down. I'm going to make sure we are fully closed and they are interlocked together. So now my drops are attached to my crystals. How lovely would they be as little earrings? Little earring hook on them. Away you go. So I'm going to have 19 of these. And rather than me sit and show you how to do that over and over again, you know how to do it now. So there should be 19 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Gorgeous. Okay. All I need to do is now start to assemble this. Hi Heather, how are you doing? Ooh, she's eating a red velvet cupcake. I'll be eating cake next week. It's birthday next Friday. I can't believe how quickly this month is going. Enjoy your cake, Heather. So I've got my chain on. I'm going to hold my, I've got my clasp on. I'm going to hold it up and find the centre. So by just making sure that these are even, I usually hold it up that way because it's just easier with gravity. But for benefit of the live, I'll pop it down on the mat. So this is the centre. That there is my central loop, or link rather, on the chain. Come on. It's that one. It's that one there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pin. I'm going to open it up. So just opening up the loop at the top. Finding my centre loop. I think it was that one. And I'm going to hook it on in. And then I'm going to close it over again and making sure that I am closing that fully so it doesn't fall off. And then just going to open out the chain like this. And then I'm going to start working from the centre out on both sides. So I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to give it a little flick up just with the tip of my pliers. I'm going to miss the next link. And I'm going to attach it by just hooking it on through to the next and closing that down fully. Taking another one, opening it up, missing one chain link. So it's on this one here, missing that one, and then just sliding that on through and closing it over. So because I've made those double-ended connectors, I don't need to be attaching with jump rings. You can put a tiny bit of pressure over that loop just to close it even further if you need to. And all I do is I just every now and again just drop it back down. Where did the camera go? It's done this before, isn't it? Why? Just abracadabra. I don't know why it's doing this lately. There you go. I pick it up and I just drop it back down on the table or my mat. So I've got those sitting nice and pretty. Let me get my comments back up. And then I'm going to continue that. So I start from the centre. Rather than counting all the links in my chain, if I can find that centre point, then I'm just going to add one to the left and then one to the right, and then it will be in the centre. So I'm missing one link, lifting it up, attaching it on through and closing it back down. And by doing it this way as well, I'm going to be attaching them all from the same direction. So the opening will be at the back of the necklace, or they'll all be on the same side. What I mean by the opening is obviously this side here isn't the opening, that side there is. So my openings will be at the back and they'll be attached onto the chain in the same direction. So I've put one on that side. I'm now going to pop one on that side. So sometimes I'll just hold on to the loop that's attaching the drop just to expose the pin that I've opened, really, so the crystals don't drop down in the way. Missing one link, picking the chain up and sliding it on. Sliding it on through. It'll be easier for you because I don't imagine you'll be doing it under a camera. Just making sure they're fully closed. So by missing that one link, they will start to hang just really nicely. Sometimes it might flip over the top. There you go. And gravity will make them all sit nice, and then also you'll get that graduated effect. So it's just a case of assembling them now. Really straightforward make that you can do in the comfort of your own home while watching a Christmas film. This is the Carol Pearl Drop Necklace on totallybeads.co.uk, and they're just £6.99 today, so they've already been reduced in price. I don't know when our last Christmas post is, but we have got another live with you next week. I'll show you at the end what I'm doing on Monday. And I think, well, the last live is the 15th. I'm assuming the warehouse will be closing. Well, it'll definitely be that week. Don't know whether it will be on the Monday. I think it might be on the Monday. So if you wanted to get any kits, whether it be this one or any others coming up, if you do want them for Christmas, or you do want to be making them over the new year, then I would suggest you don't delay, and you make sure we can get them shipped out to you as soon as possible. We do ship worldwide, of course, but I can't guarantee if you're, say, watching in the US. They're usually pretty quick, to be fair, but we tend to have like same day dispatch, which I think is really great. They are really quick in the warehouse at processing your orders. So all I'm trying to do is remember what side I last attached it on. Going on the left, adding to the right, going to the left, opening to the right. So I'm missing out a link each time, sliding it on through and closing it over. Do take your time making sure that your loops are nice to begin with, so that your loops will close fully. Because if they don't close fully, they can slip off the chain. I mean, it's really easy to pop it back on again, but you don't want them to fall off while you're wearing them. And I think they've got kind of like a bit of a New Year shimmer, I think, these necklaces. I did some Christmas makes earlier in the month, but these makes have kind of been more intended, not like as complete festive wear, but more party wear. So if you've got any kind of festive parties or New Year celebrations or anything like that, that's if you're lucky enough to go out New Year. I don't anymore. The joys of getting older and motherhood. I just tend to find that we spend most of our New Year's sitting in, might have a little glass of wine or two, and we just watch TV, to be honest. Like, we might put a film on, and then we'll see the new year in. I stand at the doorstep and we watch the fireworks, we do the countdown, and then we'll sing Auld Lang Syne, which is a Scottish poem by Robert Burns. That's kind of like our traditions. We also will bring a Yule log in, so I'll celebrate kind of Yule festivities. Do you have any traditions that you do over the new year? I mean, there's lots of folklore surrounding it. Is it a dark-haired man that needs to be the first one through the house or something? Through the threshold? We don't have that. Is it a dark-haired man? Well, my husband's won't appreciate me telling you, but he's fully grey now, so I'd have to ask the neighbour. But we tend to go out and sing with the street, which is really, really lovely. And then possibly listen to the people over the road if they're having a karaoke little shindig. Let me know in the comments, what do you do for New Year's Eve? Camille says we haven't been out on New Year's Eve in years. We always used to go to the pub. And then I think it's different now. I mean, maybe one day I'll be off somewhere jet setting, somewhere exciting, but with any luck, I'll be in my new kitchen. I'll be dancing round my new kitchen. Big shout out, by the way, to Rob, my kitchen fitter, who's working tirelessly hard today. So I'm popping on my drop, missing one, and popping it back in, sliding it through and closing it over. And there is my necklace, all finished, all beautiful, all twinkly. I just love these colours. I'd pop it on, but you're not going to see it under this jumper. I've got a big roll neck Christmas jumper on. I tell you what, I'll pop it on the bust, and then you can see. So these are our gorgeous Carol necklaces for you today. They have been reduced in price. They're a fabulous £6.99. You can get them in golden, pink, silver grey or turquoise, or you can do what I'm a little bit naughty and get kits and add the golden with the turquoise. And then when you're dancing around your new kitchen, I've missed a little. No, I've not. Just needs to be positioned in the right place. Looks like I've missed one there, but I haven't. She says. Very twinkly, very shimmery and sparkly. Beautiful fringe effect. And very tactile to touch. Jen says at midnight we do try and make a New Year's resolution. Have one glass of spirit and give thanks to our predecessors. Yes, Joanne, that sounds perfect. Have you got any New Year's resolutions? That's what this is your homework. I'd like you to tell me by next Monday if you've got any New Year's resolutions. I haven't settled just yet. It's going to be a big weekend. Izzy's off on, she says, I'm off on my cruise on Sunday and was looking for inspiration for red and gold necklace. Just found enough stuff to make this, but with round beads. Too late to order the kit now. It probably is. Well, when are you going? Sunday. What day are we on now? Wednesday. Don't know, Izzy. We are pretty quick. You could try it, but of course you could use your round beads if you want to. I hope you look gorgeous in it. Send me loads of pictures. Carol says I've just got a notification that this set is on its way. So I have not even finished the live and it's already being posted out to Carol. That's how good we are. That's how quick our customer service is. If you would like to come and join me on Monday next week, I'm going to be showing you how to make little love knots. Now, I've included them in a bracelet. You can make them into all sorts. I did these originally. It was kind of the beginning of the year. And then I did I made a few makes with them and did a little kind of little demo with them back in July, but it was for a TV channel. It wasn't for Totally Beads. So I'm going to be doing the love knots as a Totally Beads live next week on Monday. Wait till you see them. I'm going to be making earrings with them. Now you can incorporate this little component into necklaces, bracelets. I'm going to be making these earrings with you on Monday. These are the kits you're going to be able to get. I've named them love knots. I don't know whether they are. So can you see how with a little bit of wire we're going to be forming? They're not jump rings, they are wire. We're going to be forming these little knots, and then we've got these gorgeous hoops and the most beautiful coloured wire. And we've got a range of different colours for you. So if you want to wear silver, you can wear silver. If you love red, You can wear the red one. You just might be able to get these kits already. They might be available on like a pre-order. So if you go onto YouTube, perhaps, if you go onto Totally Beads YouTube page, or you go onto my YouTube page, which is Natalie Patton Jewellery, it will show you our up and coming lives that have been scheduled. If you click into the live, obviously we won't be live at the time, but if you click into the live, you'll be able to see on the drop down menu, it says materials needed for this kit. If you click on that, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pre-order these if you wish. Joanne says they look interesting. They are really easy to do. I think they are very effective and they're just really sweet. Nice and brightly coloured. Haven't quite got 5 gold rings. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the rest. But they come in a gold, a champagne, and we've also got this kind of silvery rhodium colour as well. So really easy to do, lots of fun to make, and a nice little skill to add into your jewellery arsenal, shall we say. So if you can come and join me on Monday, I'm going to be here at 10 a.m. UK time, as always. If you can't be with me and you'd like to watch back, like maybe you've just joined us today and you're thinking, I've missed it, don't worry, you can watch our lives back. They're always on the website. Mina's just saying all kits are on the website if you use the link from the YouTube link. Yeah, so you can always watch us on YouTube, you can watch us back on Facebook, and they're all on the website as well. Today was the Carol Pearl Drop Necklace. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a very lovely weekend, and I will see you next week, everybody. Merry Christmas.